nutshell. I mean, you can go on and on. We can go on and on. But I think it's nice to know that, hey, once you accept Jesus and like, hey, Jesus, forgive me my sins. I put them on you. That's it. There's angels in heaven that are cheering. And it doesn't matter what you did. And now, of course, you got to pray. Hey, help me with the drugs and this, that, and the other. And then once you try to say, look, I have a parent that I love, and my parent doesn't want me to do these things. You will be better off listening to that parent. I mean, as long as it's a good parent, as long as it's not one of mine. No, my parents are good. Not perfect, but then, their son's not perfect. But then again, I'm not perfect because, they probably screwed up something. So, in any event, and I always tell my mom, I go, look, she feels like, like any good parent would, that, she did a bad job or should have did a better job raising me. And I'm like, look, you guys were in survival mode at the time, and you can't compare your parenting skills then to what you would do now, because it's the information age. And the other thing too is, if I was raised in a perfect home, I wouldn't be as tough as I am now. And I'm not saying tough like, oh yeah, I'm a baller, I'm gonna mess with me, I'll knock you out. It's the mental toughness of work and kids and relationships and things not working out and your car breaking down and all that stuff is, I don't think people can handle that. This generation growing up now, they're gonna have nervous breakdowns, just because their ceiling fan don't work and they don't know how to go check it and fix it and pull the chain because it's too close to the blade. So no, I'm not even upset at my parents for that. And they pointed me in the direction of God at least, so I could pursue it and decide what I think it all means, instead of it's just a fairy tale. Because I think some people are just lazy and they don't want to look into it. Yeah. So speaking of lazy, it's my dad, he works with me from time to time. I try to keep him busy. And let me pause this real quick. I'm gonna take a drink. Much better. And I don't think my dad could sue me, right? Because I'm not saying his name. Okay, that made no sense. So he was with me, and we were doing a job. We do like it's called the Circle of Orange. It's a kind of the main street, and it's a big circle, and we do like pressure washing and window cleaning and all that stuff. And I have one rule is like, hey, when we're done, walk you know what, that's where I should go right now. I should go check. Oh yeah, that's what it is. We have one rule that says, hey, go check the area when you're done. And of course, I don't think he did, because now I'm missing a pole. It's like a $2,000 carbon fiber pole, and so now I got every window cleaner in California going over there to look at it, see if they can find it. But anyway, so he he left it there, and I'm thinking, here I'm blaming my dad, but really it's my fault as I guess a CEO of the company. I need to take responsibility, and instead of just blaming him and talking crap about him, what I need to do is say, okay, this happened. I didn't ultimately walk around. I did a verbal, but not physically, and so I need to fix that. What am I going to do to fix it? And if I don't do it, it's going to happen again. So, like with any company, you need to find out systems. A company that has a good system is a company that could grow. You know what I mean? You have all these protocols, and it's a company that could be duplicated, and ultimately it'll be successful. It'd be, oh shit, who's honking at me? Ultimately it'll be better, and without that system, it ain't gonna work out well. I don't know why somebody's just honking at me. I'm a loser. Anyway, so I got to sit down and say, okay, what did I do wrong? And I have a food company, as you guys all know. I'm on the board, and we're trying to grow that. it'll be interesting when it does to go back and look at all these or listen to these tapes and how it happened. And I was telling everybody in the meeting the other day, and I go, we have a warehouse, we have stuff that we order, and I go, one thing that we have to do at this point is figure out how to be systematic with everything. When stuff comes in, you need to use it instead of storing it. And I think one problem I get with all my, I have a yard with trucks and stuff, and old trucks and new trucks, and is I start storing the crap because I got to use it. So, it's giving me anxiety because I got all this stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do is just, I gotta figure out how to get rid of the stuff I don't use, and then if I get busy, figure out how to integrate the stuff faster than I normally do. It's hard because everything's custom, but if I don't figure out that system, then I don't deserve to grow. I don't deserve to be big, because it's there for the people that know how it works and can figure it out, or go through or take the time to get all that stuff worked out. And if you can't, I think then stay small, because you'll be happier. Otherwise, the stuff won't work out. You're going to get so big and just so overwhelmed because you're not going to have a system for anything, that there's no way you could be satisfied at work, because for one, you're not going to have good results. For two, it's just, you're going to have anxiety, you can't grow, it'll ruin your life, because you'll have all this stuff to do, and you won't be able to absorb it and make a profit off of it, and a streamlined company. So I think if you could start small and say, okay, I need a system for this, and then a huge important thing is, you think of what you're doing now, the process. It should trigger another process, and then the other process needs to be triggered every time, and it needs to do the exact same thing every time. And I'm thinking like, and I don't do a lot of the manufacturing part of my job. The guys or the company, we have guys that have been doing it their whole life. But one thing I want to kind of mention to them is, do we have protocols? Let's say ingredients. When an ingredient gets to a certain level, what triggers that for us to order more, instead of just ordering a bunch and just storing it and trying to find it when we need it, just to eventually get to a systematic thing. And once that thing triggers something else, now we got to follow up and make sure that the next thing is getting done, and then the next thing. And then if something doesn't get done, okay, who stopped it? What stopped it? And so it's like with my cleaning company, I guess I gotta sit down and get a better flow chart for everything. And the other reason too is, for when I'm not around, so that way we get to hire other people to replace me. I hate to say it, but I don't want the company to live or die by whether I live or die. It's a morbid thing, but it's like, otherwise all these companies go out of business when the founder dies. And I think I want it to be where the company's doing so well, they'll pay me to step down, because that's where the real money's at. You got to grow, but you got to know how to grow, and you got to be be willing to do the work to grow, because you're either going to pay now or pay later. And if you're not getting your company set up to grow, you're going to pay later which is moving crap around, looking for stuff. Like that's my Achilles heel. I'm always looking for crap, and so I just need like when I build things for like a trailer we have or something that does a certain function, I'll build it. But sometimes I don't build it like bulletproof and then move on. I'll be like, I want it to be versatile so we can switch it around. But that can't duplicate itself, because I got to be the one that's coming in and telling everybody how to use it. So I'm thinking, if we're doing jobs that where we can keep this piece of equipment busy, so be it. But maybe if we don't have enough jobs, then maybe I should just really do a cost analysis on things and say, okay, it doesn't pay to have all this extra equipment around for a job that we rarely do, and then when it comes up, there's so much extra labor in it. And this is, it's kind of like you got to be your own efficiency expert, I guess, too. And you need to sit down and really think about these things. And that will separate you from the next company, because nobody else is doing it. And guess what? The ones that are doing it, so I guess I shouldn't say nobody else is doing it, but the ones that are doing it, the people that are don't have calluses on their hands because they're a lot smarter. They don't have to work. Those companies you've heard of, and it's not by accident. So we will see how this works out. Let's see. I got a girl from Wholesome Yum. We're going back and forth, and I think she has like 1 million followers or something like that. So we're trying to see if we can't start arguing. I was thinking about my dad. Can't start, or my wife, the advertising with her, and that'll be interesting how that goes, and what the ROI, the return on investment, is with her. And basically I told her, say, look, give me a minimum cost to advertise. We'll see, we'll get a little bit of data, and then from there, we'll decide if we want to do your platinum deal, so to speak. So if it's just a few hundred, that'd be nice. If it's a few thousand, that's less nice, because you can't keep going consistently. And I think with the food company, where we're at is, we need to find a venue to keep on advertising, so we could be getting in people's psyche, and then they see it, they trust us, and they trust whoever they're watching, I should say, and then they equate their trust to our product. So it'll be interesting. And then also, I'm starting another podcast. This one we'll probably do once a week, and it'll just be dedicated to health and nutrition and everything. And I'll try to do that with somebody from my company, the guys that really know health, the science part of it, and of course that coupled with my wit should be a hit. But once we get established, and people, they hear us, and they know we're not just feeding them a bunch of crap, and you do want to add value, of course, to whatever you're doing. And I've been into fitness, I guess, my whole life, and I'm a diabetic, so I'm a little more conscious about what goes in your body than maybe some. Make sure your Skittles are fruit flavored, so get your healthy vegetables, fruit. You got to watch the Veggie Tales to get your vegetables. But so we'll start slowly integrating our product, and I think that's just how business is going to have to be done nowadays. I forget, somebody was saying that for the first time we're in. Gary Vay was saying that we're in a pull market where instead of pushing people to buy your product, you are now going to pull them into, they're listening to the podcast. We're giving them information, a little bit of entertainment, and eventually you just drop, oh, by the way, here's our food company. And then they know you're not messing around, because it's not just some loser just said, hey, advertise my crap, and lie about it. No, it's now our reputation's on the line. We're not going to throw our name out there and our credibility just to make a quick buck. We work too hard on it, and by then you'll know if we're a fraud or not too. You'll hear us talking long enough to where eventually you'll sound like an idiot if you got nothing of value to say. Kind of like what I do here is it's happiness and success through your business. And the reason why it's not just BS is because I've been through the ringer like anybody else. It's I can go down a list of things that I should be depressed about or upset about, but you just don't let it. You find things to focus on and make you happy, and you do it for a reason, because it's effective. So anyway, I will talk at you guys later, but in the meantime, I will leave you with this really fine tune.